Is Iran planning to target leaders of Gulf states that host American military bases? An Iranian lawmaker has reportedly called for the leaders of Gulf Arab states hosting U.S. military bases to be treated as targets for revenge, putting the rulers of Bahrain, the United Arab Emirates, and Saudi Arabia alongside American and Israeli officials. Emir Hussein Sabeti, a member of Iranian parliament, has blamed the Gulf leaders for the assassination of former Supreme Leader Ayatollah Ali Khamenei. According to Iran International, Sabeti said at a public gathering, and I quote, "The leaders of the Gulf Arab states hosting U.S. military bases, from the Al Khalifa to the Al Nahyan to the Al Saud, should be placed as targets for revenge alongside Israeli and American officials. These countries had a role in the assassination of Khamenei in this very war. A number of senior Islamic Republic officials on the fifth day of the war apologized to the Arab countries because U.S. bases had been targeted. The Iranian military carried out missile and drone strikes on American military installations in the Gulf nations, including United Arab Emirates, Kuwait, Jordan, Saudi Arabia, Bahrain, and even Qatar, in retaliation to the U.S. strikes. Saudi Arabia's Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman, who reportedly made multiple private calls to Donald Trump in February to push for a strike on Iran, has recently struck a different note this time. According to an Axios report, Salman held an urgent phone call with Trump earlier this month, urged the U.S. president to de-escalate and refrain from launching major strikes against Iran. But Iran has not toned down its rhetoric and has refused to grant any concessions, including the Strait of Hormuz. Iran is fuming after U.S. President Donald Trump declared that the strategic Strait of Hormuz will be America's territory. A senior Iranian parliament member, Ibrahim Azizi, now threatens Trump and taking a jibe after the U.S. president secretly swapped planes and allegedly hid in a catering truck as he left a NATO summit in Turkey last month amid fears that Iran might assassinate him. Azizi, the head of the Iranian parliament's National Security Commission, wrote on X that the U.S. president ought to worry about his own security rather than his endless bluffing regarding the Strait of Hormuz before he ends up hiding in a food truck. Trump was secretly moved from Air Force One to a smaller U.S. government aircraft during his departure from Ankara after concluding NATO summit on July 8th. The extraordinary move came amid an alleged security threat connected to Iran. Trump initially boarded the aircraft designated as Air Force One, but then came the extraordinary move. Trump was secretly transported in a catering truck and moved onto a smaller Air Force Boeing C-32A. The original aircraft continued operating as the apparent presidential plane, effectively becoming a decoy. Air Force One then departed separately, carrying senior U.S. officials and staff. The episode comes amid the ongoing U.S.-Iran war and escalating threats of retaliation from Tehran. Iranian streets have also become filled with murals and billboards attacking Trump and Israel, some depicting Trump's death. U.S. media outlets reported that the operation was prompted by a credible Iranian assassination threat. Air Force One, carrying journalists and some White House staff who believed Trump was aboard, continued towards the UK, while the president traveled separately. Reports suggest that it was Israel that told America's top spy agency, the Central Intelligence Agency, or the CIA, regarding an Iranian assassination plot that led Trump to secretly switch planes. CIA analysts expressed skepticism to the Trump administration regarding Israeli intelligence, the Washington Post reported. One of the officials who spoke with the newspaper dismissed the intelligence as Israeli-derived, not US-generated, and viewed as low confidence, while another said that the Secret Service has had 3 near misses with this president, so they're not taking any chances. A U.S. official, meanwhile, noted that U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio was briefed on the intelligence, but he chose to fly on the ostensibly threatened plane anyway, suggesting some measure of confidence that it was safe to do so. The White House has not publicly confirmed the reported Iranian origin of the threat, but Trump admitted that he was secretly moved onto another military aircraft while leaving Turkey last month.
U.S. President Donald Trump's declaration that the strategic Strait of Hormuz would soon become American territory sent shockwaves across the Middle East and the world. Iran has now fired back with a blistering response, rejecting Trump's remarks and insisting the vital waterway has always belonged to Iran. In a strongly worded post on X, Iran's Deputy Foreign Minister, Kazem Garib-Abadi, dismissed Trump's statement, saying, "The Strait of Hormuz has been Iranian, is Iranian, and will remain Iranian." He said the Strait of Hormuz cannot be seized by a tweet, an aircraft carrier, an executive order, or an election speech. Garib-Abadi declared that Iran neither fears threats nor bows to displays of military power. He urged Trump and his administration to accept what he called the reality on the ground, claiming the United States had suffered strategic and heavy defeats. The Iranian deputy foreign minister further asserted that the Strait of Hormuz has always been Iranian and will remain so. He also warned that the strait would only be opened or closed under Iran's command, adding that unless Washington accepts what Tehran calls the reality of the conflict and abandons its delusions, Iran will continue to enforce the blockade. The fiery exchange comes as tensions between Washington and Tehran remain at a boiling point. The United States continues to enforce its naval blockade around Iranian ports, while President Trump insists Iran has been severely weakened by the conflict. Speaking at a rally, Trump declared that the United States was winning big with the Islamic Republic of Iran. He also defended the U.S. military campaign, repeating that Iran would never be allowed to acquire a nuclear weapon. "If we didn't hit them, you would have had a nuclear weapon. They're never going to have a nuclear weapon," Trump said. Iran, however, rejected Washington's claims that the Strait of Hormuz was no longer under Iranian control. The Persian Gulf Strait Authority said statements by Trump and other U.S. officials do not change the reality on the ground. Iranian forces, meanwhile, continued targeting vessels using the southern shipping corridor near Oman, promoted as alternatives farther from Iranian-controlled waters, while insisting that commercial ships must follow Tehran-designated routes or face consequences.
And after we finish defeating Iran, which is being very badly defeated, pretty soon I'll be declaring the Hormuz Strait a territory of the United States. Essentially, that's what it is. We have the blockade. No ships get through unless we want them to. But, and how about Venezuela? Venezuela was a one-day war. And now we work great with them. We've taken in millions and millions of barrels of oil. But we're doing really good. We're doing good in every way. You know, I built the military, and now I used it a little bit more than I wanted to, frankly, but that's okay, because we cannot let Iran have a nuclear weapon. Do we agree? Can't let it.